Hi, this is Rajendra. First time General Railway Budget ను కలిపి ప్రవేశపెట్టారు అరుణ్ జైట్లీ. 10 లక్ష్యాలను నిర్దేశించుకుని బడ్జెట్ ప్రణాళిక వేసినట్లు చెప్పారు. రైల్వే ప్రయాణికుల భద్రతకు ప్రయారిటీ ఇస్తామన్నారు. అలాగే 5 లక్షల లోపు ఆదాయానికి 5% పన్ను తగ్గించారు. అయితే విపక్షాలు మాత్రం బడ్జెట్ బాగోలేదని విమర్శించాయి. మరిన్ని బడ్జెట్ హైలైట్స్ ఓసారి చూద్దాం. నోట్ల రద్దు నిర్ణయం చారిత్రాత్మకమన్నారు కేంద్ర మంత్రి అరుణ్ జైట్లీ. డిమానిటైజేషన్తో పేద ధనిక తేడా లేకుండా చేశామన్నారు. నల్లధనం, టెర్రరిజాన్ని అరికట్టేందుకే నోట్ల రద్దు నిర్ణయం తీసుకున్నట్లు తెలిపారు. డిమానిటైజేషన్తో భవిష్యత్తులో ప్రయోజనాలుంటాయన్నారు. నోట్ల రద్దు ఇబ్బందుల్ని సమర్థంగా ఎదుర్కొన్నట్లు బడ్జెట్ ప్రసంగంలో తెలిపారు అరుణ్ జైట్లీ.
Demonetization of high denominational banknotes was a continuation of a series of measures taken by our government during the last 2 years. It is a bold and decisive measure. Yes. For several decades, tax evasion for many had become a way of life. This compromises the larger public interest and creates an unjust enrichment in favor of the tax evader to the detriment of the poor and the deprived. This has bred a parallel economy which is unacceptable in an inclusive society. Demonetization seeks to create a new normal wherein the GDP would be bigger, cleaner and real. The exercise is a part of our government's resolve to eliminate corruption and black money, counterfeit currency and terror funding. Like all reforms, this measure is obviously disruptive as it seeks to change the retrograde status quo. Drop in economic activity, if any, on account of currency squeeze during the remonetization period is expected to have only a transient impact on the economy. I am reminded here of what the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, had said, "A right cause never fails." Demonetization has a strong potential to generate long-term benefits in terms of reduced corruption, greater digitization of our economy, increased flow of financial savings, and greater formalization of the economy, all of which would be eventually lead to higher GDP growth and tax revenues. Demonetization helps to transfer resources from the tax evaders to the government, which can use these resources for the welfare of the poor and the deprived. There is early evidence of an increased capacity of banks to lend at reduced interest rates and a huge shift towards digitization amongst all sections of society. We firmly believe that the demonetization and the GST, which were built on the third transformational achievement of our government, namely the JAM vision, will have an epoch-making impact on the economy and the lives of our people.
రైల్వేలకు 131,000 కోట్లు కేటాయించారు జైట్లీ. రైల్వేల అభివృద్ధి ప్రభుత్వ లక్ష్యమన్నారు. ప్రయాణికుల సంక్షేమానికి పెద్దపీట వేస్తున్నామని చెప్పారు. ఈ ఏడాది కొత్తగా 3,500 కిలోమీటర్ల లైన్లు వేస్తామన్నారు. రైల్వే స్టేషన్స్ లో సోలార్ ప్యానెల్స్ ఏర్పాటు చేస్తామన్నారు. 2019 నాటికి అన్ని రైళ్లలో బయో టాయిలెట్స్ ఏర్పాటు చేస్తామన్నారు. ఐఆర్సీటీసీ టికెట్లపై సర్వీస్ ఛార్జ్ మినహాయింపు ఇవ్వనున్నట్లు చెప్పారు జైట్లీ.
Component of the TEC agenda is infrastructure. Railways, roads and rivers are the lifeline of the country. I feel privileged to present the first combined budget of independent India that includes the railways also. We are now in a position to synergize the investment in railways, roads, waterways and civil aviation. For 2017-18, the total capital and development expenditure of railways has been pegged at 1,31,000 crores. This includes 55,000 crores provided by the government from the budget. Amongst other things, the railways will focus on 4 major areas. 1. Passenger safety. 2. Capital and development works. 3. Cleanliness. And 4. Financial and accounting reforms. For passenger safety, a rail Sanraksha Kosh will be created, a safety fund, with a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crores over a period of 5 years. Besides seed capital from the government, The railways will arrange the balance from its own resource avenues and other sources. The government will lay down clear-cut guidelines for timeline for implementation of various safety works to be funded from this course. Unmanned level crossings on broad gauge lines will be eliminated by 2020. Expert international assistance will be harnessed to improve safety preparedness and maintenance practices. In the next 3 years, throughout it is proposed to, the throughput is proposed to be enhanced by 10%. This will be done through modernization, upgradation of identified corridors. Railway lines of 3,500 kilometers will be commissioned in 2017-18 as against 2,800 kilometers in 16-17. Steps will be taken to launch dedicated trains of tourism and pilgrimage. Railways have put up joint ventures with 9 state governments. 70 projects have been identified for construction and development. A beginning has been made with regard to the station redevelopment. At least 25 stations are expected to be awarded during 17-18 for station redevelopment. 500 stations will be made differently abled friendly by providing lifts and escalators. It is proposed to feed around 7,000 stations with solar power in the medium term. A beginning has already been made in 300 stations. Work will be taken up for 2,000 railway stations as a part of the 1,000 megawatt solar mission. Our focus is on Swachh Railways. SMS-based Clean My Coach service has been started. It is now proposed to introduce a Coach Mitra facility, a single FINDO interface to register all coach-related complaints and requirements. By 2019, all coaches of Indian Railways will be fitted with biotoilets. Pilot plants for environment-friendly disposal of solid waste and conversion of biodegradable waste and to energy are being set up at New Delhi and Jaipur railway stations. 5 more such solid waste management plants are now being taken up. Today, Indian Railways faces stiff competition from other modes of transport which are dominated by private sector modes of transportation.
ఆదాయ పన్ను స్లాబులను మార్చలేదు కేంద్రం. 2.5 లక్షల నుంచి 5 లక్షల లోపు ఆదాయం ఉన్నవారికి గతంలో ఉన్న 10% పన్నును 5% తగ్గించింది. 50 లక్షల నుంచి కోటి లోపు ఆదాయానికి 10% సర్చార్జ్ వేయనుంది. ఆదాయం కోటి దాటితే 15% సర్చార్జ్గా ప్రకటించింది.
An argument is made that if nominal rate of taxation is kept at a lower slab, more people will prefer to come within the tax rate. I therefore propose to reduce the existing rate of taxation for individual assessees between the income 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs to 5% instead of the present rate of 10%. This would reduce the tax liability of all persons below rupees 5 lakhs income either to zero with a rebate or 50% of their existing liability. In order not to have any duplication of benefit, the existing benefit of rebate available to the same group of beneficiaries being reduced to 2,500 available only if to the assessees with income up to 3.5 lakhs. The combined effect of both these measures will mean that there would be a zero tax liability for a person getting income up to 3 lakh rupees and a tax liability of only 2,500 for people with an income of 3 to 3.5 lakhs. If limit of rupees 1.5 lakhs under section 80C investment is used fully, tax would be zero for people with an income up to rupees 4.5 lakhs. While taxation liability of people with income up to 5 lakhs is being reduced to half, all other categories of taxpayers in the subsequent brackets will also get a uniform benefit of 12,500 per person. The total amount of tax foregone on this account of measure is therefore 15,500 crores. In order to make good some loss of revenue on account of this relief, I propose to levy a surcharge of 10% of tax payable on this category of individual whose annual taxable income is between 50 lakhs and 1 crore. The existing surcharge of 15% on people earning more than 1 crore will continue. This is likely to give me an additional revenue of rupees 2,700 crores. In order to expand the tax net, I plan to have a simple one-page form to be filed as an income tax return in the category of income individuals having a taxable income up to rupees 5 lakh other than business income. Also, a person of this category who files an income tax return for the first time would not be subject to any scrutiny for the first year unless there is some specific information available with the department with regard to any high-value transaction. I appeal to all citizens of India to contribute to national building by making a small payment of 5% of tax if their income falls in the lowest slab of 2.5% 2 lakhs to rupees 5 lakhs.
పథకాలకు ఇబ్బందులు ఉండకూడదనే ఉద్దేశంతో బడ్జెట్ను ముందుగా ప్రవేశపెడుతున్నామని చెప్పారు ఆర్థిక మంత్రి అరుణ్ జైట్లీ. సాధారణ రైల్వే బడ్జెట్ కలిపి ప్రవేశపెట్టడం చారిత్రాత్మకమని అన్నారు. రైతుల ఆదాయం డబుల్ చేస్తామన్న జైట్లీ రైతులకు 10 లక్షల కోట్ల రుణాలు ఇస్తామని చెప్పారు. ఈశాన్య రాష్ట్రాల రైతులకు ప్రత్యేక నిధులు కేటాయిస్తామన్నారు.
The government is now seen as a trusted custodian of public money. I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to the people of India for their strong support. We shall continue to undertake many more measures to ensure that the fruits of growth reach the farmers, the workers, the poor, the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, women and other vulnerable sections of our society. Our focus will be on energizing our youth to reap the benefits of growth and employment. I am presenting this budget when the world economy faces considerable uncertainty in the aftermath of the major economic and political developments during the last 1 year. Nevertheless, the International Monetary Fund estimates that the world GDP will grow by 3.1% in 2016 and 3.4% in 2017. The advanced economies are expected to increase their growth from 1.6% to 1.9% and emerging economies from 4.1% to 4.5%. Schemes, projects including new schemes right from the commencement of the next financial year. They would be able to utilize the available working season before the onset of the monsoons. Second, the merger of the railway budget with the general budget is a historic step. Farmers for whom we have committed to double their incomes in 5 years. Farmers. The Indian farmer has once again shown his commitment to the resilience in the current year. The total area sown under Kharif and Rabi seasons are higher than the previous year. With a better monsoon, agriculture is expected to grow at 4.1% in the current year. In last year's budget speech, I focused on income security to farmers to double their income in 5 years. I had also announced a number of measures. We have taken more steps to enable farmers to increase their production and productivity and to deal with the post-harvest challenges. For a good crop, adequate credit should be available to farmers in time. The target for agricultural credit in 2017 and 18 has been fixed at a record level of 10 lakh crores.
2019 నాటికి 1 కోటి ఇళ్లు నిర్మిస్తామన్నారు కేంద్ర మంత్రి అరుణ్ జైట్లీ. పేదరిక నిర్మూలనకు చర్యలు తీసుకుంటున్నట్లు తెలిపారు. గ్రామీణ ఉపాధి హామీ పథకంతో గ్రామీణ ఆర్థిక వ్యవస్థను పటిష్టం చేసేందుకు ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నామన్నారు. ఉపాధి హామీకి ఈ బడ్జెట్లో 48,000 కోట్లు కేటాయిస్తున్నట్లు తెలిపారు.
With a clear focus on improving accountability and outcomes and convergence, we will undertake a mission Antyodaya to bring 1 crore households out of poverty and make 50,000 Gram Panchayats poverty free by 2019, the 150th birth anniversary of Gandhiji. We will utilize the existing resources more effectively along with annual increases. This mission will work with a focused micro plan for sustainable livelihood for every deprived household. A composite index of poverty-free Gram Panchayat would be developed to monitor the progress from the baseline. Our government has made a conscious effort to reorient MG Manrega to support the resolve to double farmers' incomes. While providing at least 100 days employment to every rural household, Manrega should create productive assets to improve farm productivity and incomes. The target of 5 lakh ponds and 10 lakh composite pits announced in the last year budget from Manrega funds have been fully achieved. In fact, against 5 lakh ponds, it is expected that about 10 lakh farm ponds would be completed by March 2017. During 2017 and 18, another 5 lakh ponds would be taken up. The single measure would contribute.
ఆదాయ పన్ను అనుకున్న స్థాయిలో వసూలు కావడం లేదన్నారు జైట్లీ. చాలా కంపెనీలు, వ్యక్తులు ఆదాయాలు చూపించడం లేదని చెప్పారు. దేశంలో పన్ను ఎగవేతదారుల సంఖ్య ఎక్కువగా ఉందన్నారు. కస్టమ్స్ సుంకం, ఎక్సైజ్ డ్యూటీ తగ్గిస్తామన్నారు అరుణ్ జైట్లీ.
India's tax to GDP ratio is very low and the proportion of direct tax to indirect tax is not optimal from a point of view of social justice. I place before you certain data to indicate that our direct tax collection is not commensurate with the income and expenditure pattern of Indian economy. As against an estimated 4.2 crore people engaged in the organized sector employment, the number of individuals filing returns for salary income is only rupees 1.74 crores. As against 5.6 crore informal sector enterprises and firms doing business in India, the number of returns filed in this category are only 1.81 crores. Out of 13.94 lakh companies registered up to 31st March 2014, 5.97 companies have filed their return for assessment year 2016-17. Of 5.97 lakh companies which have filed their return for assessment year 2016-17, as many as 2.76 lakh companies show losses or zero income. 2.85 lakh companies have shown profit before tax less than 1 crores. 28,667 companies have shown profit between 1 to 10 crores and only 7,781 companies have shown profit before tax more than 10 crores. Now individuals. From amongst 3.7 crore individuals who filed tax returns in the year 2015-16, 99 lakhs showed income below the exemption limit of 2.5 lakhs. 1.95 crore show income between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs. 52 lakhs show income between 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs and only 24 lakh people show income above 10 lakhs. Out of 76 lakh individual assessee who declare income above 5 lakh, 56 lakhs are in the salaried class. The number of people showing income more than 50 lakhs in the entire country is only 1.72 lakhs.
బడ్జెట్ ప్రజా అవసరాలకు అనుగుణంగా ఉందన్నారు ప్రధాని మోడీ. అన్ని వర్గాలకు అరుణ్ జైట్లీ న్యాయం చేశారన్నారు. ఆర్థిక శాఖ అధికారుల్ని మోడీ అభినందించారు. కేంద్ర సర్కార్ ఆలోచనలు ఈ బడ్జెట్లో కనిపించాయన్నారు. గ్రామీణ ప్రజల జీవితాలు మారబోతున్నట్లు చెప్పారు. నల్లధనానికి అడ్డుకట్ట వేశామన్నారు ప్రధాని. డిజిటల్ లావాదేవీలకు మరింతగా ప్రోత్సహిస్తామన్నారు. పన్ను మినహాయింపులతో చిరు ఉద్యోగులకు ఉపశమనం కలుగుతుందన్నారు ప్రధాని.
इस बजट में हाईवे भी बने, हाईवे भी बढ़े, दाल के दाम से लेकर डेटा की स्पीड तक, रेलवे के मॉडर्नाइजेशन से लेकर के सरल इकोनॉमिक निर्माण करने की दिशा में शिक्षा से लेकर के स्वास्थ्य तक, उद्यमी से लेकर के उद्योग तक, टेक्सटाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से लेकर के टैक्स रिडक्शन तक, हर किसी के सपने को साकार करने का ठोस कदम इस बजट में साफ साफ नजर आता है। ये बजट देश के विकास के लिए पिछले 2.5 वर्ष में जो कदम उठाए गए, जो फैसले लिए गए और भविष्य में और मजबूती के साथ आगे बढ़ने के इरादों के बीच ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण कड़ी है। इस बजट को मैं देख रहा हूं। एक अन्य महत्वपूर्ण कदम है कि रेलवे बजट को जनरल बजट में मर्ज कर दिया गया है। इससे पूरे ट्रांसपोर्ट सेक्टर उसको इंटीग्रेटेड प्लानिंग में मदद मिलेगी। देश में परिवहन से जुड़ी आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति में रेलवे अब अपना योगदान और बेहतरीन तरीके से कर पाएगी। ये बजट कृषि क्षेत्र, ग्रामीण क्षेत्र, सामाजिक कल्याण, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इन सभी क्षेत्रों में एक विशेष ध्यान आकर्षित करता है। निवेश बढ़ाने और रोजगार के नए अवसर पैदा करने की दृष्टि से सरकार की जो प्रतिबद्धता है वो इस बजट में साफ साफ नजर आती है। इन योजनाओं के लिए आवंटन में भी बहुत बढ़ोतरी की गई है। सरकारी निवेश को मजबूती देने के लिए रोड और रेल सेक्टर के लिए भी आवंटन में काफी वृद्धि की गई है। सरकार का लक्ष्य 2022 तक हमारे देश के किसानों की आय डबल करने का इरादा है, 2 गुना करना है। नीतियां एवं योजनाएं उसी प्रकार से तय की गई है। बजट में सबसे ज्यादा जोर इस बार भी किसान, गांव, गरीब, दलित, पीड़ित, शोषित उन पर केंद्रित किया है। एग्रीकल्चर, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री, डेयरी, फिशरीज, वाटरशेड डेवलपमेंट, स्वच्छ भारत मिशन, ये सारे क्षेत्र ऐसे हैं जो गांव की आर्थिक स्थिति में बहुत बड़ा बदलाव भी लाएंगे और ग्रामीण जीवन जीने वाले लोगों के क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ में भी बहुत बड़ा बदलाव लाएंगे। बजट में रोजगार बढ़ाने पर भी भरपूर जोश दिया गया है। नौकरी के लिए नए अवसर पैदा करने वाले सेक्टर, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, टेक्सटाइल, उसको विशेष राशि दी गई है। असंगठित क्षेत्र में काम करने वाले लोगों को संगठित क्षेत्र में लाने के लिए भी व्यापक प्रावधान किए गए हैं। स्किल डेवलपमेंट बजट में काफी बढ़ोतरी की गई है। ये हमारे देश के युवाओं को ध्यान में रख करके और जो डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड है इसका भरपूर फायदा भारत को मिले उस पर ध्यान केंद्रित किया है। महात्मा गांधी नेशनल रूरल एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी स्कीम, उसके लिए भी अब तक जितना हुआ है किसी भी वर्ष में ना हुआ हो इतना रिकॉर्ड आवंटन किया गया है। बजट में महिला कल्याण पर भी विशेष ध्यान दिया गया है। महिलाओं और बच्चों से जुड़ी योजनाओं के लिए बजट में वृद्धि की गई है। स्वास्थ्य और उच्च शिक्षा के लिए भी बजट में काफी बढ़ोतरी की गई है। आर्थिक विकास में तेजी लाने और रोजगार के नए अवसर बनाने में हाउसिंग और कंस्ट्रक्शन सेक्टर, इसकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। यह बजट ग्रामीण के साथ साथ शहरी इलाकों में भी हाउसिंग सेक्टर को मजबूती प्रदान करने वाला है।
इवी बजट स्पेशल बुलेटिन अपडेट्स, स्टे ट्यून्ड।